Welcome back to another episode of Talks Comics from My Comic Universe. I'm Brandon.
And I'm your other host, Brian.
And today we're going to talk about the fourth comic story arc from Immortal Hulk called Abomination.
This is a really cool story arc, and we've been talking about it so much here at My Comic Universe.
Yeah.
So in our episode, we are going to talk about the story, we're going to give our opinion of this arc, and at the very end, we're going to talk about some news pertaining to the series, as well as some spec books that you might want to add to your collection.
Because this whole series has been really hot. Everyone has been loving this series.
It really
There's a few issues that have gone up in price that you're going to want to look out for. Issue 16 starts the new story arc, Abomination. We start off at Shadow Site B, which is a location unknown, and this is where the government has Rick Jones's body. Now, Hulk and Samson are investigating Shadow Site A, and they're looking for Rick Jones. Now, at Shadow Site A, there's a trap waiting for them, and it's gamma monsters. Now, while at Shadow Site B, the government is experimenting on Rick Jones's body. In the next page, we're taken back to California, at Betty Ross Banner's house. Now there's a reporter there, Miss McGee, and she's questioning if the Hulk is involved, possibly murdered Betty. Right off the bat, the cop tells her that he doesn't think that's the case, and he thinks that whoever caused the hole in the wall is the person who's involved with the blood and the brain matter that they found in the house. Now the cop reveals that there's a feather that was left behind, bird-like monster actually, lurking in the tree. We then cut back to Hulk and Samson fighting these gamma monsters, and the Hulk realizes this whole thing is a distraction. Then, right after that, they're attacked by a soldier, General Reggie, and he attacks them with these gamma emitters, which are just UV radiation and visible light, which then causes the Hulk to transform back into Bruce Banner. So Samson is shot, and then Bruce is shot, and he runs away. And then we see a different look in Bruce's eye, and he says, "I ain't Bruce Banner." We then start on issue 17. So this issue starts off at Shadow Site B, where government agents General 14, Agent Burbank, and others are watching the fight happen at Shadow Site A, which was in the last issue. Now Bruce, or Joe, then attacks Reggie with radioactive ants that he finds near him, and he punches Reggie, which seems to be like punching a brick wall. Reggie's hand then turns into a gun, and we find out he's a cyborg made of super tough plastic. The agents watching the fight hear him say Joe, and they start looking back at his days as the Grey Hulk. Joe, fix it. Bruce then breaks through some glass and he accesses a computer, but then shortly after that he's attacked by General Reggie, who shoots him multiple times. On the next page, we see the emitters intensifying to the point that they're emitting gamma radiation. Then at the end of the issue, we finally get the reveal of Abomination.
As our story continues in issue 18, we jump 8 days into the future, where Joe is back on the run. He awakes in a cab heading for a motel. Piecing back the past, Joe finds a clue that Banner left behind, a link to Grey Hulk's past. He's left at his hotel with the Abomination close on his trail. Meanwhile in California, Jackie McGee investigates further into Betty Ross's disappearance. During her investigation, she is then confronted by the transformed Betty Banner. Back at the motel, the Hulk takes on the Abomination. He begins questioning the monster during their fight, only to find out that Rick Jones's body is inside of the Abomination. The battle rages on between the two monsters. The Hulk struggles to hold the monster off, and the Abomination begins regurgitating acid on the Hulk. Suddenly, arriving on the scene is the new transformed Betty. Immediately, Betty attacks the Hulk, ripping him to shreds, pulling out the Hulk's heart, stopping and killing the Hulk. As the story continues in issue number 20, our final issue of this arc, we find our hero clinging to life as his regenerative powers finally emerge and pull him back together. The Hulk and the newly transformed Betty turn and their focus on the Abomination, attacking him in tandem. After the battle, Betty, the Hulk, and Jackie discuss the close call that the Hulk had. The Hulk rips Rick Jones' body from the Abomination, leaving the husk of the monster's remains. The three flee the scene before the recovery team could arrive. So, Brandon, overall, what'd you think of this story arc?
So I really like the story arc. A few things that I really liked about it are just the ways that they talk about the split personalities between like Bruce and the Hulk, and then also the different versions of the Hulk and Bruce. So we got like Bruce and Joe Fixit, we got the Gray Hulk, and just how this Hulk is a little bit different. Like this Hulk stays out at night while Bruce, handles the daytime. So
Right.
it's a little different than like the Hulk we've seen in the Avengers, who's
Exactly.
out all the time. So those are some of the things that I really liked. The art in this series is amazing.
It really is.
Just some of those panels that you saw where like Bruce is transforming into the Hulk, or the other way around, like just like how it looks like his whole body is just changing.
Right,
like
right.
It just
He's
looks
morphing
awesome.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I agree
So
with you.
those are
on
some of
that.
my favorite parts about this. What about you?
Well, overall, I really liked the characters in this story. I mean, like, I liked who they brought in. The one thing I noticed is, like, the continuation, the continuity they continue to bring with this wandering character. I really
Yeah.
like that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think we mentioned this, we discussed this earlier about, I really liked the cut and dry, black and, or day and night kind of situation with the Hulk's vigilante like attitude, his
Yeah.
actions, what are clear cut, And in this arc in particular, what really stood forward was Betty and his relationship is something that we got to see being literally torn apart.
Yeah.
And then pieced back together because they're trying to rebuild. And I like that all the characters from the Hulk's original past, how they were affected by the gamma radiation. I think that really added
that was a
cool,
good point. They brought all that back together.
Yeah, they added a little element to the mythos of the Hulk. So I liked it for those reasons.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something I would recommend to our readers.
Oh yeah,
What about
I
you?
would definitely recommend it. I mean,
Pick it up, folks. You'll love it.
yeah, I really love how like this version of the Hulk just like trusts his gut and like like his instincts and stuff, whereas Bruce handles more logic and science and stuff. So I love that differentiation between them as well.
Definitely. And it really opens the story for the next arc because some of the characters from this arc have been planning things for what's to come in this series.
Yeah.
Speaking of what's to come in this series, let's finish up our episode with some news and some spec books about the Immortal Hulk.
Okay, so if you're collecting the Immortal Hulk, there's a few issues that you might want to really look after. One of them is
Definitely.
issue number 2. So just the regular A variant people are going after. It's the first appearance of Dr. Fry.
Definitely. Well, we'll let our audience know. We did make up a list for you, so you can find that at mycomicuniverse.com of all of these spec books that we're going to talk about right now. So that way you can see how much they're averaging in price and what you can pick up, not just at, online, but at a convention as well. So you were saying issue number 2, the A cover, obviously, the first
Yeah.
appearance of Dr. Fry. I agree. That's one I never got, but you were telling me you've been collecting this series since the beginning.
Yeah, so I have that in my collection, and I really love it. It's an Alex Ross cover, and the art just looks amazing.
It really does.
The green just like pops off the page. Like it looks so good.
Right.
And but another issue that I don't have in my collection is the variant, the 1 in 20 variant, or 1 in 25 variant?
Yeah, it's 1 in 25.
Oh, sorry, yeah, the 1
yeah.
in 25 variant for issue number 16. And it just shows the transformation of, Bruce turning into the Hulk. And I just love that, like, visual. So having a cover of that is, like, really cool. And so a lot of people have been hyping over that book and trying to add that to their collection, so the value on that one has been going up a lot. There's been rumors that the series is actually about to end, so people are thinking that it was going to end on issue number 25, but recently we've now seen the covers for issue 26 and 27, so it does seem like it's about to continue.
Alex Ross just dropped issue 26 and 27 on his Instagram in like a couple of weeks, or like last week. So it's definitely going to continue on, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people thought that it would end and then the character would then move on to another series or a team up or something. Because the whole thing is, he's been on the run, he's a wanderer, he's been dead, so people didn't really know he's alive again. And so now that the series is going on, more people are starting to figure out that he's back.
Right.
And so that's leading to a lot of speculation that the series is going to end. But at the meantime, the series is still going on, so make sure you have that on your pull list at your local comic book shop.
Yes, and like I said, there will be our list on our website, so if you like, you can check that out, and you can get some of these spec books from the Immortal Hulk, and comment below and let us know which books you have in your collection from the Immortal Hulk and what you thought of this arc as well. But I think that wraps up our episode here of Immortal Hulk for sure.
So, yeah, we are loving this series.
This is one for the poll list, for sure.
Definitely. It's been one of our favorite Marvel series, or it's one of our favorite series of the year.
So, if you want to keep up with everything here at My Comic Universe, and of course here at Tux Comics, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube.
Hit that little subscribe button in the bottom corner.
And of course, Brandon, where can they find us?
At mycomicuniverse.com. And don't forget to check out our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at My Comic Universe. See you guys next time.
Thanks for joining us.